The launch of the first Pohjanmaa-class corvette marks more than a shipbuilding milestone for Finland. It marks a structural shift in how Northern Europe understands its maritime security. For decades, the Finnish Navy operated a compact fleet optimized for coastal defense, mine warfare, and high-speed engagements in the narrow and icy waters of the Baltic Sea. The emergence of the Pohjanmaa-class signals a transition toward a navy that can sustain presence, contribute to multinational operations, and support the collective deterrence posture of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. For audiences across the Nordic region, this development is more than a Finnish story. It is a recalibration of the balance of power in Northern Europe at a moment when the Baltic Sea has become a strategic flashpoint. The Pojanma program arrives at a time when the Baltic is described by multiple analysts as a semi-enclosed security ecosystem, where the actions of one state shape the defensive considerations of all the others. Finland's entry into the North Atlantic Treaty Organization fundamentally changes this ecosystem. For the first time, the alliance has contiguous territory from Norway through Sweden and Finland to the Baltic states, creating a connected northern flank that depends heavily on maritime routes. The Pojanma-class contributes directly to this emerging architecture. Its anti-submarine warfare suite, area air defense capability, and mine-laying and mine countermeasure functions give it a flexibility that older classes such as Hamina or Hamina simply could not achieve. In a region where threats range from submarine incursions to gray zone activities targeting undersea infrastructure, versatility is not a luxury, it is the strategic requirement. The design philosophy behind the Pojanma-class also reflects a Nordic approach to resilience. Finland has long prioritized systems that can operate year-round in harsh conditions. The new corvette embodies this. It is ice-strengthened, allowing operations during the Baltic winter when ice conditions historically limited naval deployment options. This operational availability has direct consequences for deterrence. A navy that can operate continuously throughout the year maintains a persistent presence, and persistent presence is a cornerstone of stability in contested waters. Nordic audiences, who are accustomed to viewing security through the lens of environmental constraints, appreciate the significance of a ship that remains mission-capable in months when others must retreat to port. Public sentiment in Finland and the broader Nordic region reflects a measured but clear understanding of why such modernization is necessary. The security environment in Northern Europe has changed profoundly since the late 2000s. The annexation of Crimea, the militarization of Kaliningrad, repeated violations of airspace in the Nordic and Baltic region, and the sabotage of undersea pipelines and cables have intensified the sense that maritime vulnerabilities cannot be ignored. Finnish citizens, traditionally cautious regarding defense expenditures, now view naval modernization as an investment in national and regional stability. Concerns exist, especially relating to the long-term financial burden and the competing needs of social sectors. Yet the dominant mood is one of pragmatic acceptance. Finns recognize that deterrence, especially in the maritime domain, demands credible capabilities rather than symbolic platforms. For Nordic audiences, the Pojanma-class represents more than national capability. It is a node in a regional network. Cooperation between Finland, Sweden, and Norway has already intensified in air and land domains. With Sweden's North Atlantic Treaty Organization accession, naval coordination is expected to deepen. Shared exercises, harmonized rules of engagement, and potential integration of surveillance data are becoming realistic pathways. The Pojanma-class will function as a platform that can operate seamlessly alongside Swedish Visby-class vessels, Norwegian Fridtjof Nansen-class frigates, and even Allied vessels deployed to the Baltic. These corvettes offer enough endurance and sensor capability to serve in multinational task groups, something previous Finnish vessels struggled to fulfill. The transition from a coastal defense fleet to a contributory fleet strengthens the credibility of the northern flank as a whole. From a technological and industrial perspective, the project reinforces Finland's role in the Nordic defense ecosystem. Domestic shipyards benefit from a long-term project that sustains jobs, advances manufacturing techniques, and preserves critical skills. This matters in an era when many European states are re-evaluating dependence on external suppliers. Finnish industry gains experience with advanced combat management systems, integrated radar suites, and modular mission configurations. These competencies not only support national defense, but also open pathways for future Nordic industrial collaboration. For viewers across the region who follow industrial policy closely, the Pojanma-class illustrates the strategic value of maintaining national shipbuilding capacity in a turbulent geopolitical environment. The strategic implications extend beyond the Nordic region. Once all 4 Pojanma-class corvettes enter service, Finland will possess a surface fleet capable of shaping events in the northern Baltic. These ships can escort critical sea lines of communication, protect undersea cables, support anti-submarine operations, and offer air defense coverage over key maritime corridors. Their mine warfare capability is particularly relevant. The Baltic Sea remains one of the most mine-affected bodies of water on the planet, and modern mine warfare is central to any defensive plan involving the Baltic states. A navy equipped with advanced mine laying and mine countermeasure tools influences not only tactical calculus, but also strategic mobility for any alliance force moving into the region. The introduction of the Pojanma-class coincides with a growing understanding across Northern Europe that maritime power is no longer a secondary defense priority. Climate adaptation pressures, increased commercial traffic, expanded offshore wind infrastructure, and heightened Russian naval activity have created a more complex maritime environment. In this context, the Finnish modernization effort becomes a case study in how mid-sized states can build credible and adaptive maritime forces without overstretching resources. It also illustrates how collective security can be strengthened when each state invests in capabilities that complement regional needs rather than duplicate them. Looking toward the early 2030s, the Pojanma-class will likely shape not only Finnish naval doctrine, but also regional naval cooperation. These corvettes will provide Finland with a platform capable of hosting joint missions, intelligence sharing, and maritime domain awareness initiatives that integrate the northern flank more closely into alliance structures. Nordic audiences, well-versed in long-term planning and systemic thinking, understand that such shifts do not occur overnight. The hatching of the first vessel is merely phase 1 in a multi-decade transformation that positions Finland as a more influential maritime actor. Ultimately, the modernization of the Finnish Navy is best understood not as an arms race, but as a recalibration of responsibility. Finland, long recognized for its strong homeland defense model, is now extending that ethos to the maritime domain in support of a broader regional stability framework. The Pojanma-class symbolizes a willingness to shoulder greater responsibility for securing the Baltic Sea, safeguarding undersea infrastructure, and contributing to alliance missions. Nordic viewers, accustomed to policy discussions that value resilience, deterrence, and sustainability, will recognize the significance of this shift. The Finnish Navy's transformation is far from complete, but its direction is clear. A more capable surface fleet enhances deterrence, strengthens regional cohesion, and prepares Northern Europe for an era in which maritime challenges are set to intensify. The Pohjanmaa-class stands at the center of this evolution, representing not only Finnish innovation, but also a shared Nordic commitment to stability in the Baltic Sea.